Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and I would like, for the very first time, to welcome you all to the company of Adventurers Incorporated. You are now all a part of a proper video game adventurers guild. So let me tell you what I'm on about. This is the start of a new series that is an inspiration. It's a 50-50 split, in fact, of my Fallout 4 Adventure Time series, and a direct message that I received over on Twitter from one of you guys. This is a message from Ashborn. Ashborn says to me, "Hey Tony, could you maybe try to make a video about you just adventuring around in a game like you once did in Fallout 4? It could be games like The Witcher or anything, survival, RPG, adventure, open world kind of games. I think it sounds like a good idea, mostly because I really enjoyed what you did in Fallout. Anyway, keep up the good work and the great content." I very much took what Ashborn said to me here to heart. And I thought about how much I enjoyed my Fallout 4 Adventure Time series, but how covering one game doesn't really allow a series like that to remain relevant. And not only that, there's so many amazing open world games. Why be the adventurer of worlds in just one world when you could be the adventurer of worlds across many worlds? That's far more intriguing and far more exciting. And if you ask me, that's a true adventurer's life. So that is the entire point of this series, Adventurers Inc. To not just make videos inside of one game, but to jump from game to game, exploring and adventuring almost purely for the sake of exploring and adventuring. We are Adventurers Inc. We explore because we can. We explore because we must. We explore because it's all we know. We're playing The Witcher 3 today. We're going to set a point on the map. We're going to see where it takes us, because that's what exploration is all about. But it looks like first and foremost, we're going to have to go ahead and kill some damn harpies. Because rule number 1 of the Adventurers Inc. handbook says you must be equally prepared for combat as you are for the task of adventure. So let's keep that in mind. In this case, though, I think I'm gonna grab my horse and run, because rule number 2 of the Adventurers Inc. handbook says that if you are dead, you simply cannot adventure. So keep that in mind when preparing to run from battle. Onwards. So let's actually go ahead and open up our map. I think I have a waypoint set already as to where I'd like to go, but let's kind of review that area and make our decision here. So I'm thinking it'll be fun to follow this road alongside of this mountain pass here, and maybe even take it down to the coast, maybe eventually make our way to this boat. But I definitely want to see if there's any goodies in here. There's a lot of the world inside of The Witcher 3 that I simply haven't explored yet, which means it's ripe for the pickings. So let's make this happen. I think as well, The Witcher 3 is an absolutely fantastic game to start this series, because to me, The Witcher 3 has some of the greatest world design that we've seen in an RPG just about ever, especially when it comes to really big open worlds. I mean, like, it's just so damn well done. And I gushed endlessly about this in my first impressions video for The Witcher, and I actually had a lot of people send me comments saying that I didn't have enough negatives, but my response was, well, I was much too overwhelmed by the significance of the game's world design and how damn real it feels. There's very little in The Witcher that ever allows me to break that sense of immersion in regards to the fact that someone made this inside of a computer in an office somewhere with a piece of technology. It very much feels to me like, you know, this is created by something beyond our knowledge. You know, when we question, okay, how was, you know, Earth created? You know, how did everything all come together? You know, we have broad answers, but we don't have the details. And that's what I kind of see when I look at how amazing the world design is inside of The Witcher 3. So let's canter a bit, shall we? And take some of this in, because my freaking video game god, is this fantastic. Ah, looks like we've got a Cyclops up ahead. Let's check out this miner's camp, though. This is kind of an odd little place, and it looks rather abandoned. Got some loot here. It doesn't seem like they'll be needing it. Some wolves' hides. It does look like we passed a pack of wolves in the forest there, so perhaps that's what got the best of these sad miners here who are just looking to gather some ore to make a profit. In fact, looks like we've got some ore here. What is it, Geralt? Quickly, tell me. Silver ore. Could always use silver ore. One of the key ingredients to crafting awesome silver swords is definitely silver ore. So let me just mention that one more time, guys. As I said, we might play The Witcher in the next episode of the series. We might play something else. It's all about bouncing around and exploring and adventuring where the adventure calls to us. And I'm very much thinking Metal Gear Solid 5 is actually going to be our next game, so you guys can definitely look forward to that. There's going to be a variety. Fantasy RPGs, science fiction, shooter stuff, you know? Wherever adventure can be had, we will be there. There's no doubt about that. And that leads me to rule number 3 of Adventurers Inc. Where there is adventure, you must go, regardless of the danger or of the possible woes. What say we leave the Cyclops alone? I think he's actually... Did he fall through the world? Did he fall through the world? Okay. No, he's taking a nap. Okay, we're not gonna kill a sleeping Cyclops because that would make us a bad person. Let's just head on this way. Actually, I think this is the peak, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, let's follow alongside of this mountain and go to wrap around. Maybe we'll stumble into something along the way. One of the things that I enjoy about the way they did the discovery system in The Witcher 3 is you don't have to be like right on top of something for it to show up as discovered. You know, as long as you're within the vicinity, you know, the reasonable idea being that Geralt could see that or sense that as a Witcher, then it becomes relevant and it's marked on your map. And that's about as good as it gets, right? Make sure that you don't miss out on any of the good stuff, so we should be able to navigate our way through this forest, which is so amazingly densely populated. It's no wonder why the game only runs at 30 FPS on console. And I have to say, a part of me very sad that I don't own it on the PC at this point, but I'm just not willing to buy it on the PC and then have to progress through so many things to get a character back to a point where we can do some proper exploration. At level 30, I can pretty much go wherever I want, and that's very important to a series like this, because this game looks incredible on PC. There's no doubt that my rig can handle it now. I don't believe it could when the game came out, which is why I grabbed it on the Xbox One instead, but looks like we got a grotto here and also a fast travel point. Now, I've actually turned off of the breadcrumbs trail on my mini-map, and I've disabled active quests, because I don't want to really pay attention to that stuff, unless we do an episode where we actually head out to maybe engage in a side quest or hunt a monster. Sometimes you have to go where the death is, you know, to find adventure. In this case, though, it looks like the adventure is here for us, directly inside of this cave. Let's see what it has to offer. Okay, so we've got some Cortinaris on the ground. Oh, this is looking proper. I think this is maybe some elven ruins up in here. Ah, yes. Look what's in here. Oh, this is super dark. I'm considering taking Cat's Eye. Let's go ahead and just grab some of that real quick. I never like to take Cat's Eye as soon as I get into a cave or something like that, because sometimes the cave ends up being like really well lit, and then you're blinding yourself for 5 minutes when you really don't need to, and I'd hate to waste some willow to get rid of my cat. Well then, they were wrong about that. It looks like we've got some friendly bandits. Let's see what they have to say. It looks like we don't have to engage them right away.
Ventured a bit too far, white-haired stray. But you still got a chance to leave here alive, if you pay.
You think I'm paying you? Well, we could pretend to be on our way, but let's be honest, we really want to know what's inside this cave. So I think we're just gonna have to go with the no chance.
Let's leave my coin pouch out of it.
We'll take it anyway, just after we got you.
Just after you got me. I would take it before I got a guy, but that's just me speaking from a Witcher's perspective. I mean, I'm definitely going to take your pouch first and then probably not gut you, because that just seems a bit unnecessary. But hey, you know, if that's what you're into, I get it. I gotta be honest, guys, my combat skills in The Witcher have faltered since I've spent some time away from it. So let's see if I can get my counterattack skill back in the bag and chop some arms off proper. Oh, there we go. Good day to you, my sad bandit friend. And as I said, I'm going to loot you, and then I'm not going to gut you, because that just seems like the more reasonable thing to do. So let's see what was going on here. They got a bedroll. They were sleeping in here and everything. Crummy Skellige longsword, we'll leave that behind. We've got a highwayman's journal, though. Maybe we'll get some answers as to why they were here and if there's anything worthwhile. They've got a lot of really crappy gear. Ooh, flawed amethyst. I'll take that, though. That's gonna be worth something. Let's go ahead and check out his little journal there and see what he has to say. What's in the highwayman's journal? Shall we see? Well then, I'm going to read this, and I know I don't swear often on the channel, but you know what? This is a video game. It's not like I'm swearing for the sake of swearing. This is clearly what you would expect when you read the Journal of a Highwayman. I think there's no doubt about that. So here we go. Elven ruins, fucking bollocks. Treasure, gold? Magic cocksucking wild vipers. Fuckface sold me that map, must have come here first and took it all, the plowing thief. Fucking blighters don't respect nothing. No thought for others, just me, all the fuck long day. Brought more blasted gold in me pockets for spending coin than's here to be looted. At least this cave's warm and dry, and somewhat fit for wintering. I mean, I guess, you know, I wouldn't think that a highwayman would be, such an optimist. I really think they'd be on the side of the pessimist, but he was definitely thinking about the positive side of things. Let's see what else is around here. There's got to be some decent loot in here. We got a chest. We've got a relic weapon. Nice, the negotiator. I wonder if that's going to be worth anything. We're in a decently, high-level zone. That's the great thing about exploring Skellige, is that a lot of the gear that we're going to get here is going to be pretty good. A lot of resin and crafting components. Let's definitely just grab all of this up. There's no reason not to. It doesn't really... it doesn't cost us anything to carry it about. Some hardened leather, nice. A couple other bits and pieces. Oh, we got a crossbow, black unicorn diagram. I have no idea what that is, but I guess we'll find out. A couple florins, let's go ahead and light this thing up. I honestly thought these chairs were gravestones, and I was about to be like, well, there's a lot of gravestones down here. These guys just burying themselves everywhere. And a couple more bags in a chest to loot. What do we got? Manuscript, enhanced northern wind, nice. Got an enhanced potion. I'm always for that. Let's take a look at our inventory and see what we actually picked up here. That's going to go ahead and push us into rule number 4 of the Adventurers Inc. Adventuring Handbook. And that is, sometimes treasure is as equally important as the value of adventure. Keep that in mind. So we got a armor repair kit. Not bad. I could definitely use one of those. I imagine my armor is actually pretty weak on repair. Not bad for a relic silver sword. Plus 95 on the base damage. It's got armor piercing, critical hit chance, and a chance to stun. If we compare it to our silver sword right now, the Fate. Not bad, I mean, this is really a magic sword, the Fate. We're getting a lot of boosts to our signs, plus the chance to stagger. I like the idea of armor piercing, but I do use the Igni and Axni sign quite a bit, so I think we're gonna hold on to that. But the great thing is we now have a stash. You know what that means is we can actually collect this stuff, which I love. I'm fanatic about collecting things in this game. It's terrible. I've also got some Shayadal's armor that I picked up just recently that I'm looking to put in my stash. I wish they had the stash since day 1 of The Witcher, because I have a lighthouse type area somewhere where I remember I fought a Wyrim, or yeah, it was a Wyrim, I think. And I left stuff there thinking I would come back to it. I don't remember where it is. Not a damn clue. So one day I'll stumble back into it while playing The Witcher and I'll be like, oh, there's all of my relics that I wanted to go ahead and store. And I left them in this location because I thought it looked cool. Now, I don't even remember where it is. I don't remember if it was in Novigrad. I have no idea. But looks like we got an illusion. Maybe there's more to this cave than meets the eye. Let's pour... What's this? What's this? What's this? And we've got some crafting supplies. That's highly unfortunate. I'm like, what's this off to the side here, all hidden, man? Yeah, what's this? It's nothing. I think maybe this is just the trickery of an old elven ruin, is the fact that there is, you know, illusions everywhere, even if they don't lead to anything interesting. This is all seemingly a pretty substantial dead end here, unfortunately, so... Yeah, there's nothing here whatsoever. Well, sometimes you stumble into a gold mine, and sometimes you stumble into a slightly less valuable gold mine, and I think this was one of those instances. Redian Halberd's armor, cool. A runestone, some dwarven spirits, some Vizimia champion, and it looks like this is going to be back to where we were. Yes, indeed. So, not a bad little cave, though. And we got to kill some bandits. So, got to practice my combat a little bit. Not saying I feel good about killing bandits, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta kill bandits. It is what it is.
Come on, come on.
What do you got? I gotta stop with the accents. I apologize, guys. They're so bad, though. Oh, and they're not Geralt. Not in the least bit. So we got 13 seconds left on Cat, so I'm not gonna waste any wallow to get rid of that. Let's just go ahead and continue along the path here. And, let's actually check our map here in case we want to move our marker just to give us a better heading as to where we're gonna go. Let's actually just get rid of the marker. We're gonna follow this down to the coast, I think is what we're gonna do. Whoops. And then we're going to follow the shoreline. I'm not actually interested in checking out this building, I'm going to be honest. I want to see what's over here by this boat, because if you look, there's no path coming here. I mean, there's paths connecting here. So between these two waypoints, there could potentially be some cool stuff.
Go, go.
That's just the, you know, the gentleman's adventurer's mind at work here. Oh, look at that. Coming out of that deep forest to a nice snowy cliffside looking down into the... Oh, it's so good, man. It's so good. I just want to stop and take this in for a second, guys. I gotta, man. That's kind of the equal important part of being an adventurer here. I'll have to make a pie graph at one point to let you guys know the percentage of important elements in being an adventurer. And I would say that taking in the scenery is... It's on equal footing with adventuring itself. It's an equal part of adventuring, no doubt about that. It's a hell of a lot of harpies, and that's some sort of a castle. We'll have to check that out sometime. I want to stay keen, though. I don't want to lose my focus too much here. Let's go ahead and make our way down the path here. We'll head up all the way to the shore, and then we'll follow it to the right and just see where it takes us. Maybe we'll find something interesting along the way. So in case you guys are concerned, as newfound members to the Adventurers Incorporated Guild, all of the rules, the guidelines for being a successful adventurer will be found down in the comment section below as the videos go. And of course they will be completely miscombobulated because we're going to be playing this across multiple games. It's important that the guide doesn't just focus on one game, but all of the different worlds that we may encounter. So just because rule number 27 says that you should hate sirens, and there's no sirens in Metal Gear Solid 5, doesn't mean you should not pay attention to that rule whenever interacting with sirens in other worlds. So keep that in mind. And I know it may seem like I'm just coming up with these rules as we go, but trust me, you know, I've got these written down somewhere. I don't want to give it to you all at once. That's it's kind of the initiation element of becoming a member of Adventurers Inc. full time. You know what I mean? And if you're wondering how you can, you know, get your feet wet as a newfound member, well, the best thing you can do is boot up some of your favorite games and head on out on an adventure of your own. And of course, share those stories with the other members of Adventurers Inc. right here down in the comment section of this video or any other video that has us going on a worthy adventure. So it looks like we've got some more bandits to kill, and of course, rule number 5 of Adventurers Inc. is kill all bandits, because bandits are the ultimate blocker of adventuring. They do not know adventuring, they merely know greed and false attempts at glory. So we must eliminate them whenever possible. Hey, I'm behind you. Oh, that's your arm. Hey, Archer. You're really starting to piss me off, pal. At least it seemed like you were probably stunned when that went down, so I'm sure it was pretty painless. Ooh, right in the throat. You want to go? Nothing like a good counter and then slicing a man in half to wake you up in the morning on a grand adventure. Oh, they got some glowing ore. That wasn't too bad, I guess. Decent relic stuff. Yeah, we got a pearl. Some fish. Nothing too good here. This is definitely, yeah, a whale graveyard, as they call it. That is a huge, massive dead whale, unfortunately. You wonder if it was this rotted if we would just fall through it, considering most of its guts are spilled out on the right side of its body here. Do you guys see that? Is that something swimming out in the water there? No, it looks like just a rock. There's the boat. I was actually... Have we gone that far down this path already? I'm really bad at the scale of the map. We have. Wow, okay. Let's keep wrapping around the corner here. That was the boat. We got the whale graveyard. That's at least a checkpoint for us. Let's go a bit further and see what's up ahead. Let's get Roach over here. Come on, Roach. More adventures to be had still.
Faster.
The day is young. Oh, man. That's a lot of sirens. I'm gonna just try and get our way past them. Unlike bandits, it's good that we hate sirens, but we don't always have to kill them. That is another Cyclops. He is level 30, and there is apparently hidden treasure in the area. Okay, things just got real, guys. We've got some adventure that is definitely worth fighting for. Whoa. What is that? Do you see that? That is a proper island in the middle of nowhere with a tree on it. Oh, dude. Ah, okay. Do we kill for treasure? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I think it's just really obvious at this point that we go back to the boat and we find out what is on that island.
Go.
We'll be back, Cyclops. Don't you worry. Rest up. There'll be a grand fight ahead one day. But for now, we must seek adventure. And how can you turn down an island in the middle of nowhere with one tree on it? That looks fantastic. I want to know what is out there. Let's get ourselves a boat and go seek it. Ugh. Dare I say, The Witcher... Actually, no. The Witcher story and all of its quests are absolutely incredibly well written and well done. But the open world exploration portion of the game is, I would say, equally well done. And I think it's something that can greatly be overlooked. Oddly, not because it's not implemented correctly or something like that, but because The Witcher is definitely an overwhelming experience. I think that's a problem that a lot of people have with open world games in general, is they feel like there's too much to do. And I think we live in a time and age when people feel the need to rush through games, you know, like, oh, it's there, I want to finish it because there's so much more coming out, you know? And as someone who grew up as that kid who always wanted to play everything, you know, I was very much like that. And I watched a really good interview over on IGN Unfiltered with Sean Murray. And Sean Murray talked about that, you know? He's like, I'm that guy who just like, I have to get everything. I have all the consoles and all the games, you know, I gotta get the new PC stuff. I was like that for a really long time, and I think a part of me is still like that, but obviously I'm a little bit more budget-minded, and I'm like, you know what makes sense for the channel? What can I cover? You know, what's gonna help the channel grow? And then occasionally I buy one of those games where I'm like, you know, I'll probably cover this once, but I'm gonna play it to death on the side. And that was really the case of The Witcher. I didn't do anything substantial when the game came out. I didn't have an idea for, like, a series like this at that point in time. So I did my first impression of it, and then really I just left it at that, you know? And I played it in my time. And I've taken my time with The Witcher. I've really soaked it up, and I've, you know, just kind of done things at my own pace. But the one thing I haven't done is spend enough time doing some open world exploration, which is actually perfect. Because like I said, this game is going to be ripe for the pickings, and there's no doubt that we're going to revisit multiple times throughout the length of this series. And what I like about the idea of this series is that it's something that can last forever, you know? It's not tied to a specific game. It's tied to a genre that isn't going to go away anytime soon. So as long as there are great open world games across all of the different subgenres, survival, you know, RPG, fantasy, science fiction, shooter, we will have adventures to be had. And as I said, I really hope you guys will join me for those adventures and be sure to share some of your own. What do we have here? This is fantastic, and I think no better way to end our very first adventure here as the established crew, the fine folks of the guild that is Adventurers Inc. Let's see what this island has to offer. As soon as we find a way to get up onto it, first and foremost, I think we can jump our way up. Fortunately, there's a jumping mechanic in this game that makes that much easier. Okay, so we got a wrecked ship. We've got a... Whoa. Okay.
Crushed legs. Bled to death after they wrecked.
That's unfortunate. He tried to start a small fire. Oh, that's sad, man. He's like so close too, but it's like, you know, how are you gonna swim that far? Plus there's just a bunch of Cyclopses and Sirens. Oh, we got a journal. It's gonna take us to another quest. I love The Witcher. Oh my god, it's so good. Alright, let's read what this thing has to say. I'm so stoked about this. I think it's gonna fall under a quest item, correct? Yes, it will. Okay. Read for additional information. Here we go, guys. 5 weeks have now passed since I was hired by that Prince Valgradovt of a far-off land to help guide his family safely to Beauclair. At first, I merely suspected it, but now I am certain. Our ship is being followed. We've charted a course for shore. The captain wants to replenish supplies in a small village called Erston, and then sail up the Pontar. The masts of the ship which sail after us are constantly visible on the horizon. The worst is upon us. We shall drown. The shore was within our reach when a horrible wind blew us back. The gale tossed our ship against the rocks. We're taking on water. The yard fell and crushed my legs. I don't know what will come to pass now. I have failed them. Have failed the heirs to the royal dynasty whom I was charged to escort safely to Beauclair. The sealed letters were in the chests, which the sailors tossed overboard when the ship began to sink. If they ever wash ashore, if anyone ever finds them in this journal, know that they need to be given to a woman answering to the name Vicky. She does not know the local tongue, but if you read the words, Vied de Hog, Latrut, Alame, Hjor, she will know what to do. I hope she has survived. Luckily, she and the child sail in another ship. The elder insisted we travel separately. He was right. I don't know who chases us. I only know that I shall soon die. That's a sad, sad tale, and I feel heavily compelled now to track this quest and see where it takes us. Which means, unfortunately... Oh, no, okay, we're good. It's right here on top of us, I think. We simply need to explore and see if we can find these chests. The question is, will they be in the water where the ships have crashed? And it looks like they will. I can't leave you guys hanging, you kidding me? Can't just discover the island and let it be. Let's see what this has to tell us here. We get some markings on the boat here.
Strange crest. Not northern, not Nilfgaardian.
Ooh, mysterious land indeed, I see. Got the captain's log as well as some letters. Let's surface and see what these have to tell us. This has turned into a proper story here. That's what it has. I'm genuinely excited about this. Alrighty. What do we got here? Are they going to be under quest items, actually? Okay, they are. So we got the letter sealed with impermeable wax. I'm going to read this just for the sake of comedy, guys. Mien fier fi mode en led unaden en. Niedien vir body plantain avid. Awifin denowed perfel bladen mode. Dele onrif unsen twidfel aril mehinin stande fled. Cyprus. I have no idea what that is, but that would be really cool to be able to properly read that. Okay, got the captain's log. For the Amundan, day 69, Elenud. Hatred has set in for the guide and the foreign royal family he has hired to escort. I should never have agreed to give them passage. They've meant endless trouble from the moment we pulled out of Val. And all indications are that plenty more waits ahead. The foreign royals' bizarre behavior does nothing to help. Crew calls them barbarians behind their backs and mutters about the expedition being cursed. The guide said he had been hired to take them to Beauclair. Perhaps such strange customs will accord with those at Anna Henrietta's court. But first we must reach the continent safely. Yet ever since we lost sight of our sister ship, I've had a bad feeling about our chances of doing so. Day 73, Elenud. I might have known there would be trouble when the guide explained these royals were fleeing a coup that knocked them off the throne on the home island. I heard the woman speak to the child in that strange tongue of theirs. She spits out words whose very sound is so filled with hatred and contempt, I need not guess at the exact meaning. For they are sure to be curses aimed at the usurper. She scans the horizon constantly, the dread plain on her face, no doubt fearing assassins have been sent after her. Day 78. My worries have been confirmed. Our passengers will be our doom. The ship will soon sink. May our gods and theirs watch over us. Well then, that's fantastic and disturbing. Maybe perhaps in a future episode we can find that woman and see if she will lead us to seek perhaps even more adventure yet. I would like to thank you guys very much for joining me on this very first episode, for indulging my terrible accents and my my keenness on reading every bit of information and text that we find during these episodes. And as I said, I would like to once again welcome you to the company of Adventurers Inc. Share your stories, spread the word among the fine members of the guild that you are now a part of. and I will see you in the next one.